For this segment, we are going to create an assessment. I'm on page 18 of your training, and I'm going to follow my breadcrumbs back to the folder menu. So I'm coming down to the blue folder and clicking on the word assessment. The actual task is on page 19. It's pretty lengthy, so I'm going to walk you through this. The first thing you want to do is click Add Materials and then Add Assessment. Now remember that you want the blue puzzle piece, not the green one. The green one is an outdated feature that, in my understanding, will gradually be phased out. But this blue one is a much better option. It has lots more options to choose from. So I'm going to call this Practice Assessment. You can set a due date and a point value if you want. You need to enable submissions so that students can actually submit assessments to you. You can use a password if you want. Students would have to type the password in to access the assessment. For category, I'm going to create a category and call it Quiz. You can call it Test. You can call whatever you want to, your category. For the program year, it will default to the current one. Factor, again, you can set that how you want it. You can set a scale, a numeric scale, or other types of grading scales. You can choose to individually assign, publish, or not publish. If you turn that off, it doesn't show to students. You can choose the grade statistics to be disabled, and you can copy this to your courses. It is not available when you are enrolled in more than 50 courses. So if you want to set the copy to courses feature, you can. So I'm going to create my assessment, and then a dialog appears. This is a very lengthy dialog, and I've given you some direction on the task, so let's just follow this. For C in the instructions, we are supposed to type, "This test is not timed. You may use your calculator." So these are the instructions that will appear when the student clicks on the assessment. I have said that it's not timed, so I'm going to say no time limit. I recommend randomly ordering the questions, especially if you have a room full of students who are taking the same assessment. That way they're not seeing the same question side by side. You can decide if you want to show possible points or not. I said yes. Students can flag questions for review. That means that they can mark them to go back if they feel uncomfortable. Students can eliminate answer choices. I like this feature. You don't have to use it, but it means that if it's multiple choice and they know that A can't possibly be the answer, they can digitally cross that option off. Students can use a calculator, and I always say scientific. Again, it's up to you. Students can use a ruler. I use the standard system, but you can use the metric system. Students can use a protractor if they need it. Of course, if your test is about angles, then I would say yes. Students can highlight text. For those students like me who need highlighters, that is invaluable. Students can use a digital notepad. I allow my students to see the results, but not the correct answers. Because if they take the test again, I don't want them to just memorize the correct answers. So yes, I let them see what they got right and what they got wrong, but I do not show them the correct answer. And then I let them take it as many times as possible, which is 20. But these are all opinions that you will have to decide on and set your exam up the way you want it to be. But once you have all of those options set, you click Save. And then you're ready to add questions. And you come over here to this area right here to add your questions. You have lots to choose from. You can add text, you can add items from the bank, or you can create all of these different types of items. I'm going to walk you through 3 different types, but there are lots of choices here. There is a video at the end of this training handout that shows you how to use one of these. It's a label image, I believe. You can take a worksheet, any worksheet that you have that you want to use. You can use the worksheet. You just upload it as an image and then create the test so that students are labeling that worksheet with correct answers. It is a hack that is awesome. Rather than have to copy all the worksheet questions over, you can use that hack and just use the worksheet image to create interactive questions. So I will show you that where to find that video before we end this training. But we're on step 4. We're going to add a multiple choice question. And in the question setup, here is what I want us to type. There are 4 apples in a basket. Sorry, that continues. And 2 apples in a bag, period. How many apples are there altogether? And your choices are 2, 3, 6, 8, and I need to add an option. I want a 5th choice, so you just click plus option 10. And then I come down here to set my correct answer. This is very important because whatever answer you choose here is what the grading will compare to. So if you pick the wrong answer accidentally, your questions will all grade incorrectly. So 4 and 2 are 6, and I'm just going to click that as my correct answer. I like to shuffle my options so that they're not getting the question exactly the same way in each attempt, and then save. And the question appears. Let's add a true-false. So we come over to the left, click plus true-false. The question, or the statement. The product of 3 and 6 is 9. Sorry guys, I'm not having a good typing day. Obviously this is false. 3 times 6 is 18. You can require them to correct this if you want to. You could say the sum of 3 and 6 is 9, or you could say the product of 3 and 6 is 18 if you want a correction there. And I'm going to click Save. True-false appears. Then step number 6, let's create a fill-in-the-blank question. So fill in the blank text. And the test item says, using the formula, and then I'm going to have to enter a math formula here. So I'm going to go up to the summation symbol. And this formula editor looks a little different, so just be aware it does the same function, it just looks a little bit different. Area A equals pi. So I need the Greek alphabet, and you just click on basic there. Scroll down until you see the alpha. That's the Greek alphabet. And here is pi over in the blue area. So A equals pi. Then I'll just come back and click after the pi to type my R. And then I want to put my exponent in. Remember, that is shift and the number 6. Puts the caret in there to the second power. A equals pi r squared. And I click OK. And there's the formula. Now this is important. When you go to resume editing, you have to use your arrow key. You can't just click your mouse after the formula. The formula is highlighted in blue. Hit your right arrow key and it will bring you back into editing mode. Then space, using the formula. Actually, I need a comma and then a space. Calculate area when radius is 10 inches. Type your answer without any words. And I'll show you why this is important in just a second. So once I have that ready to go, I have my question how I want it to be. I'm going to shift and press the hyphen key that is right after 0. You want an underscore. So it's shift and the hyphen key. That will put in a space for your response. So you'll see the word response pop up. Down here in this box, you need to type the correct answer. And of course, I didn't write it down, did I? Oh, I did, 314. Pi times 100 is 314. Now, if the student types the word inches right there, first of all, that would be wrong because it's not inches. It would be square inches. This question will be marked wrong if the student types a word and you don't. So what I'm trying to say and not doing very well, the answer is 314. I'm telling the student right here, do not type the square inches part. You just type the number. Another thing that will cause this to misgrade is a comma. If your answer is a 4-digit number and the student puts a comma and you didn't put a comma, it will mark it incorrect. So make sure that you give them guidance here if you want them to use words or commas or anything like that. Just be really clear about what the answer should look like. And then we are going to save. And you see that we have 3 questions here. Let's go up and preview. So this is exactly what it looks like to the student, except it doesn't have the green border. So start a new attempt, and here come the questions. Here's the multiple choice. Now, over here are the tools. We have all of these different tools. Let me show you accessibility. The students can change the screen color if they prefer a different background. They can change the font size, and they can use zoom in and out with keystrokes. So those options are available. They can flag questions that they want to review. They can use eliminate choices. So for example, if they know the answer is not 10, they can mark that out. They know the answer is not 2. They know it's not 3. So we're left with 2 choices. That's what the elimination looks like. To remove that, you just, well, I don't know. Okay, you just click on it again. It just toggles off and on. The calculator pops up on the screen if they want to use the calculator. The ruler pops up on the screen and you can move it around. Now I know this question doesn't require a ruler, but some of them do. So you can manipulate that ruler as you wish. Just click on it to make it disappear. The protractor works the same way. It can be rotated. There's a notepad if they want to type notes. And they can make the test full screen if they want to eliminate the distractions on the page. So those are a look at the options. I do have a video on how to use all these for students, and that's in the Tools for Teachers, I believe, in the resource binder. But just make sure your students know how these work. So they choose an answer. Oh, I'm still in elimination mode. I need to get out of that. And then I can choose an answer. Click Next. Sorry, I chose the wrong answer. Next. The product of 3 and 6 is 9. That is false. So all they would do is click false. And then using the area formula, calculate and type your answer with no words. Review your questions, and then when they select finish, that assessment will be graded. So I'm closing the preview. If you want to make changes to these questions, you just use the 3 dots. This is one time that you don't have the cogwheel or the gear. You will use the 3 dots to edit, copy, or delete. Once you have your assessment how you want it, your breadcrumbs look a little different this time. You don't want to go back too far. I would not go all the way back home, or that will bring you to the announcements page. I would just go back to assessment and then back to Schoology training. So when you click on the assessment tool, students will click on this and they will be able to see the actual test. This is teacher view. So you see the questions, but they would see the actual exam. Okay, I'm going to stop this clip. It has gotten quite long, and then we'll look at how to create an assignment.